Yo, yo, yo. Good morning. How y'all doing, man? So, I just want to address the people that call me haters when it comes to the South, which is stupid. So, I've been giving T.I. a lot of smoke because of his hypocrisy when it comes to certain things. For one, I'm not a fan of T.I. At all. That's just as far as me. Personality wise, as a person, he seemed like a good guy. But it's just like some of his cockiness sometimes that gets me, and it's just like the contradictions that he comes across with himself. Um, you know, a couple months ago, he called out 50 Cent, for a versus battle, and I was looking forward to that, and I'm like, yo, 50's gonna cream that nigga, and the reason why I say that is because not so much lyricism because 50's not the most lyrical dude. Ti got him on that. That's bar none. So I'll give him that. Ti can spit, but I'm not a fan of his delivery. I'm just not a fan. Like I for me to fuck with you, like the way you flow, it just for me, I have to fuck with you. You know what I mean? And it's just like among tone of voice, plays a big part for me. Like, just that just goes with anything. So it has nothing to do with bias because this New York rappers I'm not really fucking with. If anything, I give more smoke to New York rappers than anything. But getting back to Ti, he called out 50. 50, didn't respond, which I was pretty disappointed with because, I get it. 50, he's doing his thing with power and among other business ventures that he have. But like my nigga, like it doesn't look good on you, 50, that you didn't respond. I mean, yeah, you responded with memes and all that shit, but come on, dude. Like, I would have loved the battle. And then I was rooting for 50 because in the mind you, I've been living in Florida for 18 years since 2002. It's 2020, and as time flies crazy. I'm 33 years old, and I remember when 50, when he was coming out with the mixtapes, man, like all the classic mixtapes like Automatic Gunfire, 50 Cent's The Future, the what's that street album they put out. Um Guess Who's Back? Classic right there. Joints like that, man. Um he was making noise, and like just his whole, the impact that he brought to the game is, to me, is what I feel like 50 would win over Ti. You know, and yeah, Ti has more albums, and this discography is a little bit bigger than 50's. But as far as like mixtapes go and all that stuff, nah, 50 got Ti on that, man. And on top of that, when 50 came out with Get Rich or Die Trying, everybody and their mother was bumping that shit. Like, I attest you, like when that first came out in 2003, I think it came out February of that year, 2003. I was still living in Wellington High School. I was still going to Wellington High School at the time, and I was living in Wellington before I moved to Royal Palm later that year in May. And I mean, excuse me, Royal Palm, when I moved to Royal Palm in May of 2003, like everybody and their dog was playing that album, like out of their cars. You couldn't escape it. And when I went to New York that summer, they're gonna play that. It's New York, right? But it's just the impact that he had, that was bigger than Ti's. Yeah, Ti, he had trap music and Urban Legend, those albums or whatever. People critically acclaimed albums and things like that. But those albums do not have the impact like 50 did. And even other artists from Atlanta, like fucking Ludacris, had a bigger impact than Ti. Trick Daddy had a bigger impact when he came out in '98. Well, he came out in '97, but with excuse me, with that song Nah Nah, yo, that was big. That Put Up Shut Up joint that came out in 2000, that was big. That was everywhere. That was everywhere. New York, West Coast, everywhere. The impact. Y'all couldn't tell me. You couldn't tell me any different. Couldn't tell me anything different. Like y'all, if y'all was in the building, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. So 50 declines. Disappointed. I'm like, it does not make you look good. Okay, cool. It is what it is. But you already know 50. You know, he's not gonna take. He doesn't take shit seriously. That's just his persona. That's just what he is, right? Then and with it amongst that, he's talking all this shit about New York rappers. He wants to smoke, and it's like he has a vendetta against New York for some reason. I don't know what's his issue, and he's making it to like a New York versus Atlanta shit, which is just not the case. We don't need another East Coast West Coast, beef. We don't need that. Even though realistically, it was New York. I hate when people say East Coast. It's really New York, not East Coast, because New York is not the only thing that represents the East Coast, even though it plays a big part because hip hop that's where it started from. So automatically they can put New York just East Coast, but you got Jersey, you got Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and all that stuff. So, but that's neither here or there. Okay, so a couple of days ago, somebody answered. The great Busta Rhymes, he responded, I want to smoke. I want to smoke to T.I. And T.I., of course, he cowered out. Nah, dog. His Cadillac thick, dog. Not no cap, but, I respect you. I respect you, Busta. I'm a big fan of Leaders of the New School, and I'm still am. How can you be a fan of Leaders of the New School of a group that's disbanded in 93? Even though they got back together, but they haven't put out music since 93. The last thing they put out as a group was the song Keep It Moving off Busta Rhymes' first album, The Come, which is a 5-mic classic in my opinion. I love that's probably like my favorite song off that album, but that's neither here nor there. He calls you out. And then a lot of people are agreeing, like, oh yeah, T.I., he's right. His Busta Rhymes catalog is big, and pause on that. And he's been out since the early '90s, blah 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 blah. But T.I., weren't you the same cat a couple months ago that wanted to challenge JayZ? And mind you, JayZ's been out since the late '80s, '88, '89. Hawaiian Sophie. Okay, let's not count that because that's Jazzo. But if you really, with the originators, when he was rolling with original flavor, Ski Beats and Tone Hooker's old group from the early '90s. Then he came out with I Can't Get With That, In My Lifetime. Okay. So JayZ's been around since the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s. So for T.I. to say that Busta Rhymes, he's a legend, he has a bigger catalog, it is a cop out. It's an excuse. It's bullshit and even Busta said it himself because he even said it himself, and I said it on Facebook too, to where just because you came out in the early '90s doesn't mean nothing. Because Busta Rhymes said it himself, like he had artists that came out before him and don't have the big catalog. So, which is true. Is God understood, that's the truth. Even some group, you put two groups, even with groups like Gangstar, for example. I love Gangstar, but their catalog isn't as big. Nice and Smooth, their catalog isn't as big. You know what I mean? Come on, let's be real. NWA, their catalog isn't as big. And Busta Rhymes, as a solo artist, had put out more records than them. So again, this whole thing about the generation gap, to me that's bullshit. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of bullshit nonsense. It's an excuse. He's just copping out. Like just keep it a buck. You know what I mean? And shout out to my guy Pete Marriott, man, that follows me. Dope producer. He even said something too. I remember he said today he actually said it. He said on my post, he said that, don't laugh, but I could see T.I. and Cameron, and I thought about that too, and I could see that too actually. I could definitely see that because I feel like Cameron and T.I., I think they have a good. The problem is like almost the same amount of albums that they have out. And again, I feel like Cameron would eat T.I. in my personal opinion. You might call me biased, and that's another thing too. People call you biased because you feel. I'll get to the bias thing, But I feel that Cameron would eat him because of his impact that he had. I mean, with Dipset, his way of dressing and things like that. You know what I mean? And the music itself. Yeah, when he came out with Confessions of Fire, that was more regional. It wasn't as big. Horse and Carriage. 357. That whole album was dope. I think that was a slept on album. But when he came on SDE in 2000, whoo, come on, man, that shit blew. The album Come Home With Me, woo, come on, man. Purple Haze, come on, man. Come on, dude. Killer Season, come on, man. That impact, that impact that Dipset had from 2002 to 2007 alone will blow T.I.'s catalog. That's just my personal opinion. You might call me biased, but I'm just going based on, what I've experienced and what I lived through. Because I'm 33 years old. I was in the building when all these cats were putting out those mixtapes and albums and whatnot. Okay, so, and then as far as the whole bias thing, okay, yeah, I'm from New York, so I grew up with New York hip hop. I grew up with East Coast hip hop. I also grew up with music from all over the West Coast, South, Midwest, and all that. I grew up with all that. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of opinion. But then, all you guys that roll with T.I., wouldn't you guys be biased too? Because you roll with T.I., so you're biased too. All right. So that shit is some bullshit. So I love Southern hip hop. I just don't like the music today. And again, I go, and then if anything, I give more smoke to New York artists today. I'm not a fan of Troy Ave, not a fan of Pop Smoke. God bless the dead, but was never a fan of Pop Smoke. I don't like. It's just not me. I don't care for his music like that. It's not my thing. That's just me. But it is what it is. And I know some of y'all gonna say, "Oh, that's sacrilegious. That's blasphemous to say." But y'all niggas be giving smoke to Prodigy, man. Y'all be talking shit about him. It's like, "Oh, he got beat by JayZ. Oh, he was wearing the Michael Jackson. Oh, he took mad L's and blah 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 blah." Shut the fuck up, man. Cause all y'all niggas that be listening to Griselda and all these other cats out today, y'all, again, Prodigy was one of the main reasons, and a lot of people cite Prodigy as a big influence. All y'all niggas that like Griselda, Al Divino, and all these cats, a lot of them say Prodigy is a big influence to their music, man. Mobb Deep. So, I think Prodigy deserves a lot more respect, but that's neither here or there. So, mess me with the whole, "Oh, you're dissing Pop Smoke." No, I'm not dissing. I'm just not a fan of his music. Not a fan of that dude, that dude Designer from Brooklyn. Not a fan of him. Not a fan of Tekashi, obviously. And y'all got some fucking nerve to compare it to Onyx. Are you fucking nigga? Hold on. Y'all got me fucked up on that one. That Onyx? Are you fucking kidding me? Hold on. I should have done this before the video, but where is that album? Yeah, here it is. Alright. So Tekashi is reminiscent of this album. Sorry for the glare. All We Got Is Us. Classic album right here. Onyx, Shut 'Em Down. Underrated album. So Tekashi remind you of that? y'all got y'all priorities, man. I don't know. I don't know. To each his own on that. Sorry about that. That shit is crazy. Vado, not a fan. Mano, not a fan. Casanova, not a fan. Frederick Garza was not a fan. God bless the dead. Was not a fan of him like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. There's countless other people. Troy Ave, not a fan. Dave East, not a fan at all. Not a fan at all. I could go on and on and on, but that goes to show you that, just because I'm from New York, that I automatically gonna roll with somebody from New York. I'm going based on what impacted me and my opinion. And I'm not God. But it seemed like everybody for some reason like to go at me and, you know, be like, oh, you're biased. And that shit gets annoying. You know, it gets annoying after a while, you know, so I'm not biased. And just to show you that I'm not biased, I'm going to show you a couple albums from the South that I have. They're not current, they're old school, but it's not the point. Point is, these are albums right here that, you know, I feel as though, like, plays a big important part. Some are, you know, known releases, some are not known, but here's some releases. You got Mr. Mike with Wicked Ways, released in 1996. MC from Corpus Christi, Texas. Dope MC, dope album. Part of the whole Suave House movement record label. Part of one half of South Circle. I need to get that album, that South Circle album from '95. I need to get that. But yeah, this is a great fucking album. This album right here goes hard. Player Fly with Fly Shit, alright? AKA Little Fly. At one point he was affiliate, he was part of 3 6 Mafia, but he got kicked out due to money and I think because of drugs too, because you know, he's big into coke and shit like that, you know what I mean? So Player Fly, man, dope album. My only gripe with this album is the mixing of the album, because when you listen to it, you're gonna only hear it on one side. It's like it's I don't know, it doesn't sound right. Like, just you only can hear it on the left or the right side of the speaker, so it wasn't mixed very well. And on this album they were going after 3 6 Mafia. They called this he had a song called Flizzy Comin' Triple Bitch Mafia Part 2. So yeah, great album, looked really dark, dope album, love it. Underground shit right here. Okay. Silk the Shocker, I know some of y'all gonna laugh at me. Charge to the Game, dope fucking album. The production on this album is fucking dope. All Night, whoo! What Gangsters Do, How Many, Let Me Hit It, You Ain't Gotta Kick the Lot to Kick It, We Can Dance, Just Be Straight With Me, Do Your Hook. Yo, this album, this shit goes hard, man. I didn't get his first album, The Shocker, that came out in '86, but that goes for a little bit of money. So a lot of old No Limit stuff in the early to mid '90s usually, and just No Limit overall, a lot of stuff goes for a lot of money, but this album goes hard. This shit, whoo, so the Shocker. Just got this recently, Point Blank, Prone to Bad Dreams. This was released in 1992. This was actually the re-release because the OG pressing goes for a lot of money. I seen it go for as much as $150 on Amazon. So this shit right here, Point Blank of South Park Coalition, you know, with K Reno, you know, Gangsta Nip, The Terrorists, and all those cats. Houston, Texas. Okay, got the Fly Beamer right there. Houston, you got the Texas plate. Come on, man, like, you can't get more Texas than that. Look at that, fucking dope, man. The mixing could have been a lot better. It's not the best, but I think that's what gives the charm to the album. But yeah, Point Blank, Prone to Bad Dreams. True. Alright, True. With you know, Master P, Silk the Shocker, C Murder, King George, and I forgot the other people. But yeah, alright, True. We're about it. Even though this has more of a West Coast feel, but this is definitely an important album too. Okay? Great album. To me, this is what, in my opinion, what brought Master P out. In my opinion, is what brought him out. And then obviously Ice Cream Man. But this is the album, in my opinion, is what made Master P known, you know, nationwide and shit like that. So yeah. And to the point that where Cameron, Dipset on Diplomatic Immunity made a part 3 of I'm About It. Okay? So let's not, you know, okay, I could go on and on. 3 6 Mafia, Mystic Styles, classic album. Bought this in 2002. Great album. This is the OG pressing, as you can see. Alright. Dope shit right here. I got this in 2002. Well, I don't know if it's the OG because I got the selector hits. But yeah. But I love this album. I play this as religiously. One of my favorite albums. I think it was in my top 20 hip hop albums of all time that I did on YouTube back in 2012, like about 8 years ago. And I'll show you guys a link to my YouTube channel so y'all can see, because I did reviews on everything. I don't just do East Coast, I do West Coast, I do South, and all that kind of stuff. But this album goes hard. My favorite album from 3 6 Mafia. Love this album to death. Yeah, 3 6 Mafia, Mystic Styles. This goes hard. Love this shit. Master P with his second album, Mama's Bad Boy, released in 1992. All right, and for those that seen the No Limit Chronicles on BET, y'all know that, you know, people was talking shit about Master P back then, as far as like the West Coast, saying like he sounds too country, they don't like his style of music and things. Like, he wasn't getting love like that, okay? But again, this is him when he was in Richmond, California, but he still had that southern feel, you know what I mean? So again, Master P, Mama's Bad Boy, who else has this album? You know, you have to be like a real fan or a collector to have an album like this, okay? Mama's Bad Boy, released in 1992, all right? This is out of print. This is hard to find. It goes for a lot of money. Outkast, Southern Playlist to Cadillac Music. This is a classic album. To me, is what brought Atlanta to the map, in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? As a group. Because, yeah, they had, you know, TLC and they had other groups from Atlanta. But to me, this is the album that personified ATL and brought it to the map. And you know, in the 1995... you know, Source Awards, they said the South has something to say. Okay? Even though this is more of an R&B, soul, Sleepy Brown with his group Sleepy's theme, The Vinyl Room. Underrated album right here. Came out in 1998. Shout out to my guy Kill from Apartment 5B for putting me on to this album, because he praises this album so much. And great album. Love this shit, Outkast shit. You know, if you guys like Outkast, Organized Noise, like that kind of thing, then you will definitely enjoy this album right here. But it has like a real 70s feel to it. And last but not least, Cool Breeze with East Point's Greatest Hits, released in 1999. Great fucking album. This album proves to you that you could be a dope MC and you don't have to curse. I mean, you got the song Watch for the Hook. I mean, that song was big in the late 90s, late and early 2000s. Creatine, I mean, Hitman, Butter, We Get It Crunk featuring Corrupt. I mean, this album just goes hard, man. Black Gangster, We's Pointin'. Come on, man. Like, this, man, I don't have nothing to prove, man. Like, you know, so miss me with the whole bias shit, man. Like, T.I. fucking cowered out. But then he had the nerve to complain to call out JayZ. But he backed out because but it wasn't because of it wasn't because of his catalog, it was just because of the money. He was going based on monetary issues. That's the reason why he backed out. It wasn't because of his catalog. He didn't give a fuck about that. He was going by because JayZ's a billionaire. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's bullshit, man. And yeah, man, so all y'all people that talk about that I'm biased, I have a YouTube channel. It's called youtube.com/immobility1. Check my channel out sometime. I know to do beat videos. I do you know, album reviews. That's what I mostly made my channel for, album reviews. So I commend you guys to recommend you guys to check it out. Let me know. I did reviews for everything. So I've reviewed Outkast's first album. Did a couple other albums from the South. I did mostly, you know, West Coast, East Coast, and I do CD collection videos as well. I got so much albums. It's like it's hard to. I have more albums, but you know, that's just like a fraction of CDs that I have. But so miss me with the whole bias thing, because I'm New York to the bone gristle, but I give more smoke to East Coast artists. It's just T.I. just happens to be one of those dudes that puts himself out there and he can't back up what he says. But I heard that, you know, that he sent the challenge to young JayZ. JayZ accepted the challenge, so that should be dope. I think JayZ would cream T.I., but that's just my personal opinion, because when that Thug Motivation 101 came out in 2005, the recession and all those. Again, not a fan of JayZ at all, but everywhere I went, like you could hear JayZ playing everywhere. Movie theaters, people in the hood playing them shits, in the mall, flea markets, like the oh my god, like it's just yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. But let me know what you guys think. I'm prepared for the smoke, but I just proved to myself I'm not biased. Yes, I am New York. I'm New York to the bone gristle, but I try to be fair. But if I like something, I like something. If I don't, I don't. That's just my thing. It's just like Common said. I'm not hating just because I don't like something. Don't mean I'm hating. So that's it, folks. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Friday. Shout out to you guys that got paid today. I got paid today, so it's a great thing. It's a blessing, you know. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Peace. Let me know what you guys think.